Hello, my friends. We're back for episode 2. Super grateful that I get to do this, by the way. And I have these communities that support me in doing these. And support me in pretty much every way I can constantly seek to improve myself. I'm super lucky and blessed to have people at my back like that. Shoutouts to Pokemon Destination Valley, Pokemon Kill Squad, and the Jamvad Academy. Those are my 3 main circles that I like to hang around in most, usually float between those 3. But anyway, so last time I talked about lifting in the gym and Pokemon. 2 seemingly different things, right? Compared them. And yet they're the same in terms of growth within them. Today I wanted to share a bit of thought about this quote-unquote growth thing we keep talking about from maybe a slightly different perspective. Human beings are designed with the ability to adapt. It's the crux pretty much for all of our learning and growth capabilities. The development of a skill is a direct result of our ability to adapt to a demand. When we apply a certain demand to ourselves, right, physically or mentally, doesn't matter which, and we do it consistently and systematically, what we're doing is we're forcing an adaptation. In other words, we're making ourselves learn. Whether it be our minds, our bodies learn too, right? Our hearts, our souls, our emotions, all these things can be trained. Now, the only way we humans grow is through systematic and consistent practice of an activity, right? First keyword there is consistent. And even further, to achieve what we call quote-unquote mastery is to be systematic about our consistent practice. Because we all know that learning poorly is a possibility too, right? We can always learn bad habits and practice them wrong. And then we end up with these installed habits that are really hard to get past. Unless the way around this is your training is structured well in the long term, right? In order to facilitate the practice of good habits. There must be a plan. There has to be a roadmap, or else we're going to end up, getting lost and getting stuck in the wrong dead ends. And then you have to go all the way back and find your way around in order to discover a new way of doing things, which makes things harder, right? So in order to streamline our training, we have to have a roadmap, a plan. And that sounds an awful lot like a Pokemon battle, does it not? Right, it's all the same. Gym programming for your workouts, scheduled Pokemon practice, a syllabus at school for a class. It's all the same concept, right? It's trained, structured, systematic, and consistent training. Anyway, so that's just the thought of the day. So that being said, let's get into it, right? So today's training session, I had built this Manaphy balance team. I felt like Manaphy is kind of underutilized lately, and it's also very, very powerful. I wanted to try it on a balance type build because I've used Manaphy on Webb's HO before. Pink Across built a pretty famous team around that, and it was really, really good. So I figured that it might fit well also on sort of a bulky offense type balance team. Now, the way I build balance teams is a little bit different than the way some people do. Some people just take a defensive core, an offensive core, and slap them together, right? So I kind of don't like the cores mentality. So, I do have my defensive scheme right here with Tinglu, Skarmory, and Slowking Galar. But you'll notice that they do have some weaknesses there. That's because I like my teams to, interweave with each other as terms of their function. For example, they need a true water resist. So Manaphy is pretty well able to set up on Walking Wake, for example, with the Take Heart and everything. And Great Tusk, obviously being the bulk up variant, has some more bulky setup option there, but also provides more reinforcement versus King Gambit. And the Scarf Valiant's there for speed control. Needed it to be a fairy, right, that could hit a multitude of things like unboosted Roaring Moon, just so Skarmory isn't overloaded there. And we needed a knocker because we're also some hazard stack between the Stealth Rock and the Whirlwind with the Terra Ghost Glue, making sure we can spike up and block spin at the same time. So yeah, that's just an overview of the team there. So let's see how well it does. Let's go ahead and grab a game. So this time I'm going to need to go into this, go left to right on each side, establish threats, and do my connect the dots and come up with a game plan. Okay, so that's what we're going to do here. All right, YZ22222. Let's play some Pokemon. So he's got Great Tusk, he's got Raging Bolt, Rillaboom, he's got the Corviknight, he's got the Garganacl, and the Dondozo. Right. I have the Manaphy, the Tinglu, the Skarmory, the Slowking, Great Tusk, and Iron Valiant. Now the reason I do this and just go left to right is to bring all the pieces on the chessboard, so to speak, into the awareness, because you have to be aware of all the pieces on the board before you can make your game plan. Right. So now let's connect the dots. So here's Great Tusk here, and Manaphy will be able to smoke that offensively and defensively too if I'm Acid Armor. Skarmory pretty much walls that, especially with the Iron Defense set. Great Tusk can potentially win a war there. Slowking can't stay in on it, but it can catch it with a future sight if it's forced Great Tusk to force Great Tusk in, rather. So that might be achievable. That's not achievable because he has a Corviknight. So he's got, and I've also got offensive check with Iron Valiant there. The Raging Bolt, Tinglu is going to check that. Slowking can pivot on it. Great Tusk can potentially, hit it with the electric immunity. The Rillaboom, Skarmory, obviously, unless it's some kind of weird Terrifier thing, which I have used before, so I'll be on the lookout for that. I am Terrifier Great Tusk, so that can be an option as well. To bop the terrain and hit it with Ice Spinner or Headlong Rush, one of the two. Now, the Corviknight, I think this thing sits on a lot, except if I just overwhelm it with Manaphy. That's going to be an interesting one. I can knock it. That's about it. The Garganacl, this thing's always a menace, right? So I want to hit it with something hard. I need to go ahead and Dondozo there. Let's see. Taking too much time. I'm too slow at this. I'll go ahead and just lead with this. I didn't get to that phase of the planning yet. I'm going to knock this for good measure. Oh, he left. How about that? Come back, buddy. I need my practice. No. I almost timed out and then he left. He leaves, rather. Alright, my friend, you have 30 seconds to come back here, or else I get your points. And also get no practice. Okay, so I need to find a way in order to be quicker at that. He might have left just because I was taking too long. Timer stall for the win, I guess. Okay, so what did we learn from that game? Just kidding. We didn't learn anything. We can get another one. Get free points, so that helps. Alright, so here we go. We got some pretty hard offense there with the Glimmora. I'm just going to get right into it. I'm not going to start the timer until, later. So we got Glim, Ogerpon, we got Zamazenta, we got Iron Valiant, Iron Moth, and then we also have King Gambit. I've got Manaphy, Tinglu, Skarmory, Slowking, Great Tusk, and Iron Valiant. Alright, so the typical thing, instinctually to think, is that he's going to lead Glimmora. But predicting leads isn't exactly the best approach towards it, unless you're already on the back foot. So Glimmora is going to be pretty much blocked by Snow King. Tinglu, Great Tusk can potentially just kill it if it's chipped, because these run Sash a lot. And he starts the timer. Let's see. The Manaphy can blow past it as well. We've got the Ogerpon, which is a threat here. Skarmory can kind of wall it to an extent, situationally. Manaphy, if it's Terra Poison, can have a good matchup, unless it's the Encore set, which is a huge problem. So we'll have to be just careful of what he does with that. The Zamazenta can be sort of walled by the Slow King and bopped by the Future Sight. This is why we have Iron Valiant speed control. He could Terra Steel, but we will see what happens there. The Manaphy can overpower it with the Acid Armor and then the stored power, if that gets going. But you have to position Manaphy well in order to get good setup. So Iron Valiant blocked by Slow King, still weak to knock, but still doesn't kill it unless it's like some weird physical band set or Swords Dance or something with knockoff. Iron Moth, Tinglu. Let's see here. Psyshock can knock it out. It's faster than Iron Moth because I'm Scarf. King Gambit will be Skarmory, Great Tusk. So I believe here I will lead. Let's see, what's the best lead? I would like to just get started with Manaphy, honestly. Yeah. Seems like a good idea. Because... Right. Let's see here. Nice. So he switched into Pokemon with low defensive value. Of course, he's HO, so he's low on defensive value in the first place. King Gambit and Zamazenta are his highest defensive value, I think. That's not just type dependent. This is one thing I'm trying to think about more, is the types of value, right? I needed to think about value more in the last video, and so I'm going to try to do a better job of that today. So he's Booster Energy. What's the worst he does to me? He Encores. Alright. So now he goes Ogerpon. Most likely. And he sets up all over me. So let's do some planning here to get around this. Take that from him. The close combat does 62 minimum, 0.1. The body press does, so that's likely a KO between the two things there. Right, I lose exactly one of them. Ah, perfect. Look at that, 62. Now I have Tusk for the King Gambit, and the Zamazenta will likely win against the Skarm anyways. So here's how I deal with this. So even if he decides to Terra and boost his special defense, I still kill. And I just do this again. Because I have a nice slow King Galar there. Yeah, that's good. I can switch in on the Moth and get rid of the T-Spikes. Alright, I'm going to utilize some pressure here. I think I will bring in Lou now. Big Lou. Yeah, figured he'd do that. Oh! That is good value taken. Alright, that's some good luck of the draw there for me. Okay. He's leftovers. Yeah, would not be surprised if he immediately body pressed like that. Chili here. Right, because Crunch doesn't heal from there. he already blew his Terra. So what that means is that I bring Iron Valiant in, Moonblast away. The only thing he can do to resist that is the Moth, which is, actually no, yeah, I Moonblast every day. All day. Alright, there's the Moth. I don't quite kill from there, so this is shaping up to be a close combat situation. That's just gonna win. Make sure I'm not just making faulty assumptions here. Close combat. Oh yeah, yeah, that destroys. Oh, actually, not necessarily. I would like to get a spike up. It's fine. That's fine. I'll take that value from him again. Have I terra'd yet? I have not terra'd yet, have I? He's Swords Dance, Ivy, Cudgel. Does the Swords Dance set ever run Encore? Yeah, it sometimes does, according to the Smogon. Maybe I shouldn't have let that happen. I probably should have terra'd there. Huh. I just made things complicated for me. I was doing so well, too. Well, he doesn't kill Tusk in one. Now, I need to do some math here. If I rush him, and especially get the crit, then I'm in good shape. Okay, whew. It's possible that if he was still in range after Hornleech recovering, if I didn't get the crit. I'm not exactly sure of that, but I think he would have been. Now I'm gonna have to be careful about let's see. What's the spread that we're assuming here? What if we did this? What if we flip-flopped that? And 120. Would I still kill? Yeah. Sure I got that right. Oh, 124. But yeah, I'll kill. Now, we gotta be careful about this. Okay. Alright, because his King Gambit... First off, GG. His King Gambit would have not killed me. Okay, well, it was still in the bag. This is why I like to have the Calcog available at all times. Okay, so I think I did pretty good that game. The one mistake, I think, was letting him have that value back on Ogerpon. That was a lapse in planning there. But otherwise, I think I was able to navigate threats pretty well. So, that's an improvement from last video. Felt much more in control there. Let me know what else I could have done better. I will always encourage helpful and friendly criticism in the comments. Okay, so on to the next game. So here we have Glimmora, Darkrai, Roaring Moon, Frostmoth, which is always a bear in this game, Dragapult, and Iron Valiant. Now, I usually see Frostmoth on, like, Snowveil teams. So this is going to be interesting. Very interesting team. Where is this guy? 1782, so he's had some success with it, so. He already turned it on. All right, we're good. You know what? I think it's the same story here. I take advantage. Okay, well, I always go... You know what? I just skipped the entire process, didn't I? All right, so let me just go ahead and do an abbreviated version. Glimmora, Darkrai, Roaring Moon, Frostmoth, Dragapult, Iron Valiant. It's hard to just stick to it when you get impatient. So, Manaphy, Tinglu, Skarmory, Slowking, Galar, Great Tusk, and Iron Valiant. Okay, so his most dangerous thing to me is potentially that Dragapult because it U-turns all over the Tinglu. I would like to get some chip, on that Glimmora. That way it's just there's no focus sash trickery. Alright. Is he Metronome? Interesting. Okay. Got him. Yeah, there's a Dragapult. I would like to... Alright. Leftovers. Okay. I think I just start hitting with Moonblast, to be honest. Alright. That's fine. I could be cheeky here. Didn't work out. Let's see. Yeah, I'm getting lazy here. I'm getting mentally lazy. All right, let's regroup. Focus. Let's focus here. He's got the Mortal Spin, so I was spin blocking him, right? With the Mortal Spin with the Skarmory, but I didn't actually need to do that because my objective was already met there. This thing's boots. I'm 95% sure. Yeah, so that's what being lazy towards your thought process does. Makes you do stupid stuff like that because there's no reason for me. I already achieved my objective, so. All right, so I think I go back to plan A here and start taking some serious advantage with Manaphy. And you know, I'm actually okay with that because yeah. Okay. Okay, this is not too bad here. Now I go Skarm. I roost. Yes. And I press. No, I do not press. I do press, I think. Okay. Now it's really hard for his Roaring Moon to touch Skarmory because knockoff is already expended. This would not kill from there. Now, I believe... Yes. That was a good play. Alright, so... Okay, I can make something of this. Potentially. I think that's my only play there. I swear if you freaking freeze me. He's Leftovers Moth. Interesting. He doesn't have much hazard control. Wow, okay. Alright. Wow, this might be my win right here, actually. Good old Fire Tusk. You know, I was toying around with Ice Tusk on this, but the Fire is overall better. Good buddy DJ agreed with me there. He has not Terra'd yet, so what's he gotta do? I think the safest thing is the Rush. Yeah. Not rely on the type, because sometimes when there's a Terra still on the field that hasn't been used, type a lot of the time isn't real. Unfortunately. So let's do... Now type is real because he already blew his Terra, so... He's still not killing me. However, I don't know if I need to preserve some integrity for that. Moth. Look at something. By the way, this little side calculator here is amazing. Just look up CalcDex. I found it on the Smogon forums. Very convenient. Still use the old one sometimes for more in-depth stuff, but having this immediately available really helps your awareness of your options and everything. So, wow, its FizzDef is really that bad, huh? Nice. I think I'm gonna do it. Yeah. Okay, so he's going to get 2-code by this. Oh no, he's gonna get O-code. Oh, nice. Yep, that's our win. Good game. All right, not bad, not bad. Doing okay. Still probably could have locked seen a win con coming more, because I didn't think that Great Tusk would be it. So, seeing the end of the game is something I need to work on more. I also didn't do the full process that time. But the improvement there is in the navigation of, threats and my wayfinding. So it is better than last time. I am in more control. I feel like that, at least. Okay, so here we are. LGBTQRSTUVWXYZ plus. That's funny. Anyway, okay. So King Gambit, Cinderace, Landorus Therian, Iron Valiant, Kyurem, and Slowking Galar. Definitely a chilly reception Kyurem thing going there. Manaphy, Tinglu, Skarmory, Slowking, Great Tusk, and Iron Valiant, Galar. Slowking, Galar, and Iron Valiant. Okay. King Gambit, checked by Skarmory and Great Tusk. Potentially Manaphy in the right situation. Cinderace, checked by Great Tusk, especially if I end up Terra-Firing, and potentially Manaphy as well. Man, Manaphy's powerful. This set specifically. Landorus Therian, blocked by Skarmory, unless it's some weird Terra stuff. If it's purely special, Tinglu, outside of just U-turn. Iron Valiant, Slowking, standard. Can get going with Manaphy and make it tough if it's not Encore. Be on the lookout for that. Now, the Kyurem is always a question mark in the builder. I have seen chilly reception builds and then it's just specs or boots or something. instead of Dragon Dance. So if it is Specs, then Slowking is going to be the best thing I can do, most likely. Or depending on what move it clicks, Tinglu if it's Earth Power, or Skarmory. If it is the Dragon Dance set, Skarmory is the best I can do. Iron Valiant can Revenge. Great Tusk is going to be clutch. And then Slowking Galar, Tusk can kill, Lou can kill, Manaphy can kind of overwhelm, can knock it with Valiant, and then hazards it. Okay, so here we go. What am I doing here? I believe I am leading with Great Tusk. Seems to have the best matchup overall. Alright, so I go Slowking because Great Tusk's soft spot is on the special side, right? He freeze dries. And let's see what information we got from that. 29.9, so it looks like he might be Specs. Yeah, he's Specs. Very interesting indeed. Now I'm going to click Thunder Wave here to cripple something early on, and he goes Landorus. Yeah. That was the one thing he could have done to prevent that. So good job, my friend. Get some chip on Homelander. Becca, my wife's son. For those of you that watch The Boys. Anyway. What do we do about Christine here? So this is hard to switch into. Don't want to blow my Terra, because that wouldn't be given much reward anyway, especially if he will-o-wisps me. Honestly, I think Manaphy is a play here. And a miss. Alright. Don't mind that at all. I take Heart. And get ready for whatever comes next. See, the good thing about this moment right here, this specific moment, he doesn't know what I'm going to do with the Manaphy yet. So, of course, pretty much all Manaphy are always set up of some sort. So he could... Oh, okay. Now, I have the choice to Terra and just set up all over him. If I did that, how much would Freeze Dry do? Okay, probably too much for this stage of the game. Alright, so we're okay. Trying not to be so reactive. I'm gonna get some future side initiative up. That way maybe I can corner something. Oh! He just forfeits. Okay, well I guess he didn't like his matchup. GG. Do we find one more? We find one more game? Folks. I'm getting kind of mentally tired now. So, in the spirit of... Well, that's already 4 wins. So, in the spirit of preserving my good performance and ending on a good rep, right? I think I'll call it here. Because one thing I've run into in the past is getting too mentally tired and then breaking it down, and the last thing that I do in a practice session is perform poorly, and that's what I remember. So I don't want to remember performing poorly. I want to end off on a good one, so the last thing that I remember is performing well. So I'm going to call it there. Thank you for joining me, folks. And yeah, y'all stay awesome. See you in the next one.